Hey guys, what's up? This is Maggie Osama from Online Learning School, and today I'll be showing you how to create a countdown timer in Adobe After Effects like this. Okay guys, so here we are in Adobe After Effects, and the first thing I'm going to do here is that I'll hit Ctrl or Command N to create a new composition. I will call it Main Comp. I'll make it 30 frames per second and set the duration to 1 minute. Then click OK. Next I'll hit Ctrl or Command Y to create a new solid. Choose any color you want, then click OK. And now I'll go to the project panel here, double-click and import a photo. Then I'll drag it to the timeline and place it above the solid layer. Adjust its scale if needed. Then in the blending mode column beside the photo, I'll set it to luminosity. Next I'll select both of these two layers and pre-compose them by hitting Ctrl or Command-Shift-C. I'll call it background. Make sure you select Move All Attributes option here, then click OK. Next I'll hit Ctrl or Command Y to create a new solid. I'll make it white, and I'll call it Countdown Numbers. Then click OK. Next I'll right-click on it, go to Effect, Text, and select Numbers. Choose the font type you prefer, then click OK. And as you can see here, we have numbers displayed on screen. In the Effect Settings panel, I'll set the fill color to white, and I'll increase the size. OK, now here I want to convert it to a time display format. So I'll come here to the Type field and select Time Code 30. And why 30? Because I set my composition settings to be 30 frames per second. If you, for instance, set your composition settings to 25 per second, make sure to choose timecode 25. And now we have a time display format, and if I drag my time indicator, you would see that it is displaying the current time of my timeline here. Okay, next thing I want to do here is that I only need this part of the time format, not all of it. So first thing, I'll adjust its position, and I'll increase the spacing between each number, and this by unchecking this proportional spacing and increasing the tracking value. I'll adjust its position again because I want these two numbers to be in the middle of the screen. Now this looks good to me. Now I'll pre-compose this layer by selecting it and hitting Ctrl or Command-Shift-C. Make sure you select Move All Attributes option here, then click OK. And now I'll apply mask on this layer. So as I'm selecting it, I'll go to the Tools bar here and select the Rectangle tool. I'll draw a rectangle covering only these two numbers like this. And now you can scale it up if you want to. So here I'll hit S to get the scale control and scale it up. Perfect, this looks good to me. Next I'll draw a circular outline around these numbers. So I'll enable the Title Action Save Grid from here. and I'll hit Ctrl or Command Y to create a new solid. I'll call it Stroke Circle. Now make sure you are selecting this Stroke Circle layer on the timeline. Then go to the Tools bar and select the Ellipse tool. Now I'll hover over this pivot point here in the center of my composition. Make one left click and hold with your mouse. Then press down Ctrl or Command Shift on your keyboard. Then start dragging your mouse to draw a perfect circle like this, and then release. I'll place it under the countdown numbers layer on the timeline. Then go to the Effects and Presets panel and search for an effect called Stroke. Drag and drop it on this Stroke Circle layer. Then in the Effect Settings panel, set the paint style here to untransparent, and I'll increase the brush size a bit. I'll also add a drop shadow effect to the countdown numbers layer. Then I'll copy this drop shadow effect settings and apply it on the Stroke Circle layer as well. Next, I'll duplicate this Stroke Circle layer by selecting it and hitting Ctrl or Command Z. Then for this layer, go to the Effect Settings panel, select the Stroke effect and hit Delete. Next, go to the Effects and Presets panel and search for an effect called Radial Wipe. Apply it to this layer. I'll also rename this layer to Fill Circle. Then in the Effect Settings panel, if we change the value of the Transition Completion field, it will give us that wipe motion that we want. So this is the field that we are gonna animate here. So as my time indicator is set to the beginning of our timeline, I'll set the transition completion value to 100%, click on the stopwatch beside it, and go to 29 frames, and this because it is the last frame before the number here turns to 01. Then I'll set the transition completion value to 0. Now press page down once on your keyboard to go one frame forward. Then change the transition completion value to 100%. So as you can see here, that will make one complete wipe rotation, then it will start over again a new cycle when the counter turns to a new number. So we want to make this animation loops till the end of our timeline here. So instead of copying and pasting those keyframes all the way till the end of our timeline, let's just add an expression to this transition completion field. So hold down Alt or Option key and click on the Transition Completion field stopwatch to open up the expression field. Then I'll click on this button here, go to Property and select Loop Out Duration. This loop expression repeats a set of keyframes infinitely, as you can see here, so we don't need to keep copying and pasting our animation keyframes. Great, so far so good. Next, I'll go to the blending mode beside the stroke fill here and change it to overlay. I'll also decrease its opacity a bit, so I'll hit Z on keyboard to get the opacity control and drag it down. Next, I'll make the wipe direction here to be counterclockwise. Let's click play and see what we have so far. Perfect! Next, I want this counter to be a countdown. So I'll right-click on this layer, go to Time, and select Time Reverse Layer. So as you can see here, it now starts from 59 seconds and it should end at 0. Great! Last thing I'll do here is that I'll change the color of the background solid layer here because I don't like it. So I'll double click on the background pre-composition to open it. Select the solid layer, then go to the layer settings and change the color. Now this looks better to me. Okay guys, so this is our tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe to Online Learning School YouTube channel and hit the ring button so you could get notified once a new video released. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.